Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Tech Solution. Today I will discuss another topic on 32-bit memory versus 64-bit memory. It is the topic for hardware students and who have pure knowledge of basic computer hardware and interested on computer topics. So he may want to know what is 32-bit memory or what is 64-bit processor. So let us start here. I define on the screen. Before I define the 32-bit memory, you have to know 8-bit equal always 1 byte. 1 byte, that is 1 byte equal 8-bit, and in the 32-bit of memory there will be 4 bytes, because multiply by 4 into 8, it will be 32-bit. So it is the memory size where a bus or a CPU can address in a computer. That is a 32-bit memory size. It can read 4 bytes at a time. That is which is called word size, can address up to 4 GB of data. If you have a 32-bit architecture, then it will address up to 4 GB of memory. And in other words, 32-bit pointers can point to a things such as a full word, which is 4 bytes of data. It is a concept of 32-bit memory. And if similarly you go for 64-bit memory, then it can read 64-bit of memory location at a time, and that means 8 bytes at a time can be read by the 64-bit base CPU or bus, which is said to be word size, can be read at a time. And it can the 64-bit based processor can address up to 16 exabyte of data, where it is 10 lakhs of terabyte equivalent. So these are the differences or the definition. So next slide I will discuss as a whole. The 32-bit and 64 refer to the web computer's processor, that is CPU, can handle the information, and where 64-bit version of Windows can handle large amount of RAM, random access memory, more effectively than a 32-bit system, that is which will be faster than 32-bit system. Next is how we define, how ascertain that it is my computer is of 32-bit memory or it is of 64-bit memory. So go to computer properties, system properties, and the page will show you the system type is of 32-bit operating system. That is, I have installed the processing mode of 32-bit operating system. Although it is a 64-bit architecture, but I have installed my OS as 32-bit operating system. So see the next detailed report in next pages. How to check you have 64-bit processor? So to run a 64-bit version of Windows, your computer must have 64-bit capable processor. It is understood. If you are still unsure, that is, if you have confusion that you have the processor of 64-bit capability, then go to the next steps. Click View and print detailed performance or system information, which will be available in your system property page. If your computer is already running a 64-bit version, then you may not see that it is of 64-bit architecture. So I have the steps here. System property screen, where there is a tag performance information and tools. Then on clicking you will have the page view and print detailed performance and system information, and then you will get the page, this page, where it will be clear that your total memory is 2 GB of RAM, system type is of 32-bit OS architecture which is installed here, and processor is 2 core, and this capability of 64-bit is yes, that is I can load my 64-bit based OS also. So this is the page where you can ascertain your processing operating system mode or the system architecture both. So go for next page, and that is if you have 32-bit OS, then can we shift to 64-bit OS? No, because here the explanation is here. You are running 32-bit OS version, you can only perform an upgrade to another 32-bit version of Windows. Similarly, if you are running 64-bit version of Windows, then can only be upgraded to another version of 64-bit version of Windows. If you want to move from 32-bit to 64-bit version of Windows, you will need to back up your files and then perform a new custom installation for 64-bit of version of Windows. So it is cleared. Next page elaborate where 32-bit memory based driver can run on 64-bit CPU. So most, if there is a 32-bit operating system, that it will on a computer running 64-bit version of Windows, that is 32-bit based version can be run on 64-bit, but vice versa is not true. Driver designed for 32-bit version of Windows do not work on a computer running 64-bit version of Windows. Sometimes there will be some drivers which will not work, and it will not work correctly on a 64-bit version of Windows. For information about updating drivers and troubleshooting issues with device driver for 64-bit versions of Windows, you will have to check manufacturer, device or program, where it will be clarified more. It is is it beneficial which is 32-bit or 64-bit? The benefits are most apparent when you have a large amount of RAM installed on your computer, typically 4 GB of RAM, then it will be clearly indicated. In such cases, 64-bit OS can handle large amount of memory more efficiently than 32-bit of OS. A 64-bit system can be more responsive when running several programs at a time, so it is beneficial if we have 64-bit CPU. Next question is where driver of 32-bit will work on 64-bit version. It is already decided that it will work if it will work on the 64-bit driver for 64-bit version of Windows, and 32-bit version will not work on 64-bit version of Windows. So here I think it is clear that a good idea on 32-bit processing or memory locations for the computer we have, and another 64-bit processor or memory type of your computer. Thanks for viewing this video, and if you have doubts, please see again and again to clarify your points. Thank you.